Welcome everyone to the ECP demo class. I'm Rakesh Singh, your own payroll pre-sales demo expert. Let's see what we are going to learn in this video. In this video, we are going to cover the topic of payroll control center. It's a very important topic, and we are going to see why EC payroll needs payroll control center, what is it, and how it works, right? As simple as that. Why, what, and how, and we'll learn something more about the payroll control center, and of course, from a demo perspective, why it's so important. So when I did when I went to the help portal of payroll control center of SAP, and there it says the payroll control center is an automated system for payroll processing. It enables you to verify the data quality whenever there is a change to the employee data. Such a change event can happen through an HR person changing master data of the employee, or data is being imported through some other programs. So whenever the employee data is changed, payroll control center finds out a change that has happened and validates the change against the policy for exactly those employees. So if you look at this diagram, what payroll control center does, as the name indicates, right? It's a control center. It's a control center to manage payroll runs, right? That's the most critical activity anyone does, running a payroll, right? So what it does is it monitors all the employee data changes that's happening in the employee central, and it's fed to the employee central payroll. So it monitors them against certain validation rules. It keeps on monitoring. So if your payroll is running bi-weekly or monthly or weekly, for that pay period, if it's monthly, for the whole month, it will be keep monitoring all the data that is getting changed in the EC against the validation rules. We call it as policies, and we'll see it further in the videos. So it validates against those policies and then keeps a track of all the errors so that we can go and correct the errors. Then it runs the payroll, and then it does subsequent activities like tax declaration, pay statement. All these activities will be done as a follow-up after the payroll. So all these activities are done by the control center, and that's is payroll control center. So why do we need it? To automate it. You see here, new payroll experience. So as part of the employee central payroll, this solution was, if I click on over here, it says payroll control center is a suite of applications that enables you to control the complete payroll process to produce high quality results quicker and more efficiently. That's what it is about. So we will see how payroll control center is used and how it manages all the processes. And the processes we know, right? It's going to monitor all the employee data from a payroll perspective. Then it runs the payroll, then it allows us to do the follow-up activity. And who does everything? It's done by the payroll administrator. So there are multiple roles involved in that. We can cover that topic in a different video. But from a payroll administration perspective, the whole payroll processes that are involved for that particular company can be done from this particular payroll control center. So we have seen this one, how the data is integrated between employee central, which is our HR system, and the employee central payroll, which is our payroll system. So employee data flows into that. Now where does the payroll control center fits over here? Here it is. Payroll control center, short form is PCC, payroll control center. It is in the employee central, right? For on-premise payroll solution, I don't want to go deep into that. They can see the payroll control center in Fury. For us, in the employee central payroll, we see the payroll control center in employee central. So it is in the employee central, and it works based upon the PCC services. So there are multiple, uh, we saw the definition, right? The suite of applications. So there are multiple OData services which are exposed in the employee payroll system, and those services are utilized by this PCC, which is in the employee central, to run the payroll, to validate the employee data against the policies, and also do the subsequent activities. So that's how PCC is accessed. Remember, Employee Central is a portal or a front end or a user interface to access even the Employee Central payroll screens, right? So PCC is a way to access these services to run the payroll or to run the policies or to manage the whole processes within the payroll system, right? So this is how the payroll control center looks like. We are going to log in 2 minutes, but if you see, this is a payroll control center in the employee central. This is a user who has logged in as a payroll admin, and then we have different tabs: processes, alerts, unassigned alerts. Processes means here you can create the processes which you can control it from the my processes. Then policies, you can create different rules, validation rules. Off cycles, if you are running an off cycle, how to run the off cycle. So we'll have a separate videos on how to run the off cycles. And teams, when you do the validation as part of the monitoring, uh, the the errors or the exceptions that we are going to see can be assigned to different team members, right? So that's what the team is about. So if you look at this, and this screen is kind of a like within each tab you have multiple sections again, right? So it says payroll control center process management. But note this red one, this bar which is on red one, this is employee central tools. These are employee central, what do you call, tabs. But the green one are the screen coming from the employee central payroll. Remember I talked about these services? So the red one is part of the employee central, and when you click one of them, each one of them, the moment you click it, it opens up a new service from Employee Central Payroll in this green window. And this is the payroll system, is the EC payroll system in the backend. It just gives the information what is the name and the client number of the EC payroll system, right? So that's how it works. This is part of EC. That's how we navigate in the EC. And once we are in this payroll page, we have multiple tabs, which is part of the Employee Central. And whenever we click on each tab, we see the Employee Central Payroll windows or services that we talked about. And this is the place where we run all the processes and manage all the processes. So we'll talk about these 4 processes in next minute. So let's try to log in to the payroll system and see how it works, right? So if I go to my system, I will log in as a Canada payroll admin. Okay, I'm logging into Employee Central, and remember I can see the Employee Central payroll screens via Employee Central. So as we mentioned, so there are 2 ways to go to the payroll control center. One way is a classical way of clicking on the menu bar, go to the payroll, and you will land in the payroll page. The same payroll page which you can access from here, we can also access. We have provided a shortcut in the style over here in the home page style. So this style is visible only to the payroll admin, those who have the roles of payroll admin within EC. So if I click on this style or if I click on this page, payroll page, both does the same function. I click over here, now it is talking with the backend Employee Central Payroll and fetching all the data and then displaying all the data. As you can see, we have 4 active processes. So typically in a payroll control center, we define four processes. One is the pre-payroll, right, which is nothing but this monitoring. The pre-payroll is nothing but the monitoring, and it is also called as continuous payroll, right? So it is also called as continuous payroll. Why? Because let me show it to you. If I go to products, I go to core HR and payroll, and then if I go to explore our payroll software and click on the read the solution brief, and if I search here payroll control, oops, it's not coming, but let me go to the page directly. 4.5 Introducing continuous payroll. SAP has reimagined traditional payroll with a payroll control center user experience. Great for the new world of remote work, our robust continuous payroll functionality monitors payroll exceptions, also called validations or alerts, and pushes the exceptions that occur to administrators so that they can address them prior to the payday. So what's happening? It's a continuous payroll. So the first process that we see here, the pre-payroll, is nothing but the continuous process. For example, if I just ran my payroll and my payroll is of like bi-weekly payroll, I ran my payroll, I'm done with my payroll, post-payroll activities are done, I go and start my pre-payroll process right away. Just after my current payroll is done, I start pre-payroll or the continuous payroll, as they call it, process just at the end of the previous payroll, so that this will keep on running till I run the production payroll after 2 weeks or whenever as per my payroll calendar, right? So this is a continuous payroll. So as and when the employees get hired in the employee central, those employees get replicated in the system in the EC payroll, that this payroll will keep on running. As soon as the employee data is changed or employee is hired or terminated, whatever happens, it keeps on running. It keeps running the payroll in simulation, and any exceptions, it captures it and it creates an alert. So if I click on this process, I just clicked on it and it goes and it shows all the processes. So it says, oh, okay, create test payroll data, right? It ran the payroll in simulation. So it has details. Then it is checking that particular payroll results against the policies, and then it creates a monitoring. It keeps on monitoring, right? As it mentioned, it keeps on monitoring all these payroll results. Sorry, here keeps on monitoring. So what happens in monitoring? It says, oh, some alerts are there. Let's, as a payroll admin, I can assign the alerts to the teams which I have defined over here, manage teams and my teams. So I can assign these alerts to them. I can also go and see the KPIs, how this pay period payroll results differs from the previous one. It says 53.5. So there is a difference of $53 between the last pay period and the current pay period. How it differs in the gross pay, how many employees got changed, how many active employees are there, how many employees are getting paid, right? So it gives you KPIs and alerts, and these alerts can be assigned to the teams throughout the whole payroll period. So if my payroll period is bi-weekly, it is running for the next 2 weeks, keep on monitoring. So alerts are created, assigned to the team members. They go and look at the alert, and when they look at the alert, they go and fix the data. And as soon as they fix it, it gets replicated. This payroll runs automatically again because it's a continuous payroll, and that validation alert is gone. So these are different kind of alerts, the rules that we have created in the backend, which is shown over here. And like we had 2 employees here, 4 employees here, 4 employees here, So total 10 alerts, and this can be assigned to the team and team lead. So 4 alerts are assigned to him, right? And then these people to whom they have been assigned, they can go to my alerts to work on those alerts, to correct the data the moment they see those alerts. These alerts can come over here also in the notification. So like 4 are alerts. Remember, we had 10 alerts, 4 alerts, 6 are non-assigned, and yeah, check compensation records, why it is greater than 5,000. So there are 4 employees who have greater than 5,000. So if I click on this check compensation record, it will go and show me that employees data, the compensation. It opens a different window. It goes to that employee for whom we have that information, and then it shows you the and you can come over here and you can click on compensation and check the compensation data to fix it, right? As simple as that. So once it's fixed, you can go and apply the solution, resolved, what all the status can be managed over here. Anyhow, we will see these how these alerts works in a different session, but let's go through these processes. So these are the pre-payroll processes, and then we have production payroll. So once this is running throughout the whole payroll period, when the payroll has to run as per the payroll calendar, you go and start this payroll. One thing I forgot to tell you in the previous one, I can explain it over here, that one process consists of multiple steps. These are multiple steps that's happening, right? So when I am running the production payroll, first I initiate the payroll, then I run the payroll, then I basically start payroll is you open up the calendar in the backend so that it basically goes and locks all the employees. So no further changes are possible in the backend payroll system. So throughout this whole duration from start to end, no replication is happening. All replication are stopped, right? So start payroll is started successfully, run payroll, the payrolls are run. You can always go and click on this, see details to see more about the payroll. So if you are payroll admin, you can easily come over here and you can easily check how the payroll has run. It gives you some more information. So it takes the spool or the list or report from the backend and it displays it over here. 15th employees are selected, 15 successful, 16 periods. That means there was maybe one retro which took place. So that's how you can see the reports of each and every step. The payroll journal, right? Again, you can access the report from here directly. A posting simulation, you can how the payroll posting for general ledger has taken place successfully. Here you can come and look at the program details, and if I can also go and see the posting document. If I click over here, it will show me the posting document that was created, right? It's the posting document, and I can come and download them if I have to download it, right? If I can come and download this document. So this posting document, which was created as part of simulation, is also visible from here. Then again, monitoring does. So once the payroll has run and everything has happened, it also runs, it also validates it against the policies that we have defined for this process, right? And based upon that, the monitoring will give us a result. Again, this has also, since we have not fixed anything in the pre-payroll, so those same alerts are visible here also. If we would have taken care of that in the pre-payroll simulation, then this wouldn't have come over here, right? But we wanted to show it in a demo that, okay, in the pre-payroll we saw that 10 alerts, same 10 alerts are visible because same policies are again assigned to this process. Again, you have all these, the KPIs that you're looking for. I think it's the same thing what we had. And then we have And then we have end payroll where we can go and end the payroll here. Okay, so that's how it works. And then we have the third payslip process. This is called a payslip, but this is nothing but the salary payment process. Here you run the payslip, you send the data, you create the bank file which you have to send to the bank so that the salary remittance can be done to the employees, and then the file is sent to the bank directly from here. So this is for the third process, right? And this third process is coming up from payroll follow up, right? The pay statement, tax declaration. So if we go here, look at the fourth one, posting to finance. Now here the posting document that we had created in production payroll was a simulation one that I had shown earlier, right? That was simulation one. But if you come over here and look, this is a post payroll activity, right? Financial updates, post payroll activity. So that's what happening here. It's a posting to finance. If I start this one, it will go and create the posting document, then it will release it, and it will then send you the transfer posting document. We are not doing it because it will take some time, and we will have a separate video where we can give a demo on how all these processes can be started. So remember, all these processes are kind of a one-click process, right? So you have to initiate it first time. So all these processes, manually you have to go and start them first time. So first time in the sense like you start them and then it will come and it will end, and then you have to confirm it. So even though it has 3 steps and every step has start, confirm, but you have to start it only once here, unless it fails at any one of the step. If it fails at one step, then we have to go and start that step only, right? So if, let's suppose, it comes and fails in the posting simulation, you come to the posting simulation and you repeat that step, start it, and it will work, right? That's how the whole processes are handled. And once, remember, these are active process, as it says Canada period 12, right? So what happened to the period 11? Why I can't see it over here? Because period 11 is already completed. It should be there in the completed process, right? Period 11, if I come here, period 11, it is already completed. That's why, so once this, even if I go and finish these processes, they will move to the completed process and then it will become empty. So how to fill it up again? I have to come to the upcoming process, and in the upcoming process I need to move them to the next. I have to select them and move them to the active process. So I don't have anything for the 13th pay period here. So if I'm a payroll admin, I will typically go to the manage process. In the manage process, it takes some time because it is trying to fetch the data from the EC payroll. I come over here and there is a pre-payroll here. I click on the pre-payroll and then I define, so it's only defined till period 12. If I come over here and if I change this and add the period 13 here, right? So I say period 13, right? I say okay, and I save this. So period 13 is saved, and as the moment I save this period 13, I should be able to see that period 13 in the upcoming processes over here, upcoming processes. Now I see period 13 here. Now if I have to move this period 13 to active process here, I have to click here, start process. The moment I click on start process, it starts running over here, right? It starts running over here. So that's how, this is a button to refresh. That's how it's done. As I mentioned, see, it says step in execution. Please note, we have not yet closed the payroll 12, so we are not supposed to run the 13 here. But there are, payroll control center is a huge topic, at least for people, those who are running the payroll, right? They should be aware of all these tabs and they should be aware of all these things. But once you know it, it's very simple. As I mentioned, it's a one-click process. You just have to click once here, click once here, click once here, click once here, and you are done with the payroll processes, right? So that's how the whole payroll control center is done. Alerts, you can manage it here. Processes, you can manage it over here. The policies and the validation rules, you can manage it over here. And off cycle, I will cover a separate topic for this one, because off cycle, again, we'll have a separate video on the off cycle, because there are multiple kind of off cycle that you can run in payroll, and based upon that, some are ad hoc off cycles, some are managed off cycle. But whatever off cycle you define it for yourself, that again you can go to the processes and run those off cycle. I'm just wondering whether this person has any off cycle or not. Okay, so he has one completed one, just given to Mary Keller, right? So this is the off cycle which has run for him. We can always go and click on this, and it will show you the pay statement of that employee for the off cycle one, right? It's showing the pay statement. Same thing can be visible, like if I come to the my processes, and if I come to the completed processes, and you can see the off cycle here. So you can have ad hoc off cycle, you can have planned off cycle. So we have different kind of off cycles. That itself is a separate topic. I hope you liked the video. A lot of things to cover. It becomes overwhelming when you go through that. Thanks everyone for watching the video. Don't forget, if you have any questions, feel free to send an email to us in our distribution list of our team, which is there on the website. Thank you everyone.